On May 20, 2025, 39 pilgrims bound for Europe were organized by Sun Travel and Tours Corporation for the Jubilee Year 2025. Among the places visited was Lourdes, France, where the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared several times to Bernadette Soubirous. Bonjour madame.
Bonjour monsieur.
Je m'appelle Dan et vous?
Je m'appelle Gaëlle. Enchantée.
Pour aller à la grotte de Lourdes.
Vous prenez à droite
À droite?
et après vous traversez le pont et vous arriverez à la grotte.
Oui, oui. Merci. The Actual Marie Saint Fry is the place where our sick and cared for pilgrims stay. It is only 500 meters away from the entrance to the shrine. It is also known by many simply as the Actual or Saint Fry. We are grateful for the privilege of celebrating Mass at the St. Gabriel Chapel, which is just beside the crypt, where one can find the chapel built upon the request of the Blessed Virgin Mary through Bernadette Soubirous. It's the only bridge across this river, and Bernadette would often cross this bridge into that place to gather firewood, where eventually the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared to her with a message of peace for the whole world and inviting people to pray the Holy Rosary. This river is not only a symbol of life. Literally, it gives life because there are many fishes swimming in it for people to harvest. Francais, what do you speak? English? English? Oh, nice! I have with me 39 pilgrims organized by Sun Travel and Tours of Cebu, Philippines, and we hired the services of a tour guide to explain the different structures found in this compound.
This river already existed, but it came a lot closer to the grotto. So this is why Bernadette was hesitating to take off her shoes, because there really was a stream in front of the grotto at that time. During the 9th apparition, Our Lady says to Bernadette to eat some of the grass and to wash herself and drink some of the water. First, she wants to go to the side river to take some water, wash her and to drink. But the lady calls her back and she points out a spot inside the grotto, where you can now go inside. Every afternoon you can go inside the grotto and you can see a glass plate on the exact space where she digged. So she had to dig 4 times before she could get some of the muddy water. And then she started to wash herself with this water where the pigs also went inside. And then she drank a little bit of the water. So those true believers, immediately they start doing the same thing as Bernadette. They kneel down, they pray, they wash their hands, they wash their face, and they drink a little bit of this water. The first official miracle happens on the 1st of March, 1858. This lady that had her miracle, it was a lady that fell out of a tree, couldn't move her arm. She was pregnant that day, and she gave birth the same day. So we are sure of the date. But there are other people that say that they washed their eye with muddy water and they were blind, they could see again. 7 of the 72 miracles that happened here happened during the apparition in 1858. This is why everything went so fast. So this happened on the 9th apparition, and then the 13th apparition, Our Lady asked a favor to Bernadette. She said, go to the priest and ask him to build a chapel here and come in procession. In 1862, the church, the Bishop of Tarbes, he will recognize the miracles and also the apparitions that happened, and they immediately started building this here. In the beginning, it was just a small chapel. It is called the crypt, and it is really in the heart of this church. You have a very long corridor, and at the end of that corridor, you have a very simple chapel. This was the first chapel that was built. The first Mass here was in 1866. It happened in July 1866, right before Bernadette left for Nevers, because after the apparitions, she couldn't find her peace in Lourdes. There were so many people waiting for her outside of her door that they decided to protect her and to put her with the Sisters of Charity of Nevers and to let her go to school. So for 8 years she went to the school for poor children, but she also stayed with the nuns. And then she decided she wanted to become a nun herself. She couldn't do it in Lourdes, so she went to the mother house of the Sisters of Charity of Nevers. In the chapel of the mother house, you have the body of Saint Bernadette. So she was buried there in the graveyard, like we did with all the sisters at that time. But then after, when she was canonized in 1933, they took out her body and they saw it was still intact. And so ever since then, she's laying in a glass shrine. The only thing that we have here in Lourdes of Bernadette's body is a piece of her rib. It's laying here in that small chapel where you can go inside too. It's a very small chapel, and we have now a very beautiful stone statue of Bernadette like she's laying in Nevers, but her body itself is still in Nevers. So this all happened in 1866, and it is the same year that we opened the railway station in Lourdes. So people from all over Europe, they could come to Lourdes. They heard about this miracle source, about everything that happened, and they came. So it was always packed. We have about room for 100 people in that small chapel. So this chapel was packed. The parish church of Lourdes behind the castle was also always packed. So they decided they needed something bigger. So they built this Basilica of the Immaculate Conception. So this is a very beautiful Gothic church, and what is very special here are the glass windows. They tell you the story of the apparitions. From the first apparition to the left side all the way to the inauguration of the statue of the Crowned Our Lady here on the Esplanade. We had our mass in here in 1871 for the first time, but the tower and everything was completely finished in 1879. So here we have room for about 800 people. We have two chapels where we can fit about 50 people inside. So with all of these buildings, we had room for 1,000 people, which was at that time enormous. We never thought that this wouldn't suffice, but people were coming, they kept on coming. And so we needed another church. 30 years Lourdes for the celebration. We opened the Basilica of the Rosary. You see the ceiling? Very beautiful crown with a cross. So this is the ceiling of the Basilica of the Rosary. It was finished in 1889 for the celebration of 30 years apparitions. In that one we could fit 2,500 people. So we thought we are large, we have enough space now. 1908, for 50 years Lourdes, the feast of 50 years Lourdes, these towers were finished. These ramps that are like arms that welcome you and hug you were finished. And so we had a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful building here. And so we thought this was gonna be enough. Unfortunately, or luckily, it wasn't. So after the Second World War, people became very, very religious here in Europe. And we had the Feast of 100 Years Lourdes coming up in 1958. So this is a year where Monseigneur Théas, he was the bishop of Tarbes at that time, he really wanted something big, a big shelter, because in February it's cold when we have the Feast of the First Apparition. But he didn't want to change this landscape. It is very beautiful. When we go down, you will see with the arms and everything, these three churches. So he had this crazy idea to build an underground basilica. It is there where you will have, you're lucky, you can go and join the International Mass on Sunday morning, tomorrow morning. It is there where we have every Wednesday and every Sunday during the season, from Easter until All Saints, the season is opened here. We have International Mass. It's a Mass in 7 languages. I will explain you a little bit more about this big church, but it is the biggest church of France, and it is the 3rd biggest basilica in the world. Still wasn't enough. For 130 years, Lourdes, we built the last church. It is the one that's here across the street. It's that modern building. It's not very beautiful, but it's the Saint Bernadette's Church. It has room for 5,000 people. We have a very good acoustic inside, and you have sliding panels. So we use this church a lot for young pilgrimages. So this was the last one that was built. Why it was built over there? because during 17 of the 18 apparitions, Bernadette was standing. If you go to the grotto, here on our left side, this side, underneath the second bench, you have a small tile that says Bernadette was standing here. So she was standing right in front of the grotto during 17 apparitions. But on the 16th of July, the date of the last apparition, Bernadette couldn't get to the grotto because the grotto was blocked off with wooden panels. It was apparitions that were organized, actually. So the police was present, everybody was present, and Bernadette could come inside. And there where you have the small little white statue of Saint Bernadette, she is standing and she has her last apparition. She said the lady didn't speak, but she was more beautiful as ever, and the distance didn't matter. It was the last time she saw her, and she felt it, that it was going to be the last time that she saw her. So this happened on the 16th of July, 1858. And this is why we built the Church of Saint Bernadette over there. So we have here the grotto. We also have tabs everywhere because we have those 5 big reservoirs underneath your feet. You have very good tabs over here and over there where you can take water of the grotto, of the source of Massabielle with you. We have the chapels of light on the other side of the river. If you want to light a candle, you can. It's on the other side. The candles that are sold here, now I'm saying sold, but you have candles here in boxes everywhere. Those boxes that you see, they have Target prices marked on them. The prices are just Target prices. You can give whatever you want to give, whatever you can give. You can give more, you can give less. Nobody is looking at you what you're giving here. Of course, in the shops, you need to give what they ask. But here in the sanctuaries, those are just Target prices. And you also have the baths over there. And when you want to go, you need to go early, around 8:30 or 1:30 p.m. because it opens from 9 a.m. until 12, and then they close again from 2 until 4:30. You also can do water gestures, which is actually what Bernadette always did. You wash your hands, you wash your face, and you drink a little bit of the water. There are tabs, especially for doing water gestures, next to the baths over there, a little bit behind the grotto, or you can do them on your own time with the water of the other tabs. Or inside also with a volunteer. The volunteer just pours water on your hands and then you...
This sprawling compound of the Grotto of Our Lady of Lourdes is a testimony of the active role of the Blessed Virgin.
As a good mother not only to Jesus but also to humanity to whom Jesus has entrusted to her at the foot of the cross, the Blessed Virgin Mary must have deemed it urgent and necessary to appear to Bernadette Soubirous with a message of peace to the world and prayer using the instrumentality of the Holy Rosary. Today, the Blessed Virgin Mary continues to take care of us, mediating between us and God, because as Mother, she can never abandon us. We have seen the many spiritual activities in the sanctuary, and these are proof that the Blessed Virgin Mary is active in the Church today.